Well, three, two, one. What's up, everyone? I've got Leopold on the line. I probably butchered that as I have so many times. Um, we are going to kick it off with the triple whammy. So, first, how was your day? Two, what are you drinking? And three, what's something you learned today?
Awesome. Thanks, Mark. So far my day has been pretty good. It's still midday here in Sydney, Australia. So not much has happened yet, but I did wake up really early this morning with a friend to go see the sunrise at the beach
What?
and have a coffee, which was good.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
yeah, best way to kick off the day, I think. I am drinking a iced almond latte. Midday.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. I wish it was a beer, but it's not. Um, and something I've learnt today. So
You've
as
already
I
learned something. It's only 12 there.
kind of, well, my friend did drag me out of bed this morning for sunrise. And I was feeling really good this morning, gave me lots of extra energy. So I was doing a bit of research. And I've come up with a new phrase, which is win the morning, win the day. And I was reading
What?
a couple of articles. Yeah. So
I
now I'm,
love that.
yeah, I've been learning about the benefits of waking up early and starting your day off with some exercise.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
really mentally preparing yourself for the day. So that's what I've learnt today.
Dang. Well, what time do you wake up normally? Before you started reading, before you made this your mantra?
Normally like 7:30 and I start work at 8.
Dang. See, I've
Yeah.
got a kid, so we are up at, well, I've got almost a 1-year-old, and she decides that she wants to wake up at 5:30 to 6. So
Oh,
regardless, and I still set my alarm. I don't know why I set my alarm. My wife goes, why do you set your alarm? You're gonna wake up anyway. But I don't know about you, but I'm one of these people, like, if I don't set my alarm, like, I have this fear that I'm gonna miss like a meeting. Like,
I'm the same. Yeah, and sleep
like,
the whole day.
like, there's no way I'm gonna sleep until 9. Like, there's just no way. But man, that's good. Well, I'm drinking a Pelican IPA. I've been on this gross out kick we have in the States, grocery outlet. Do you guys have grocery outlet?
No.
Anyhow, it's this like super awesome cheap chain of supermarkets, and they've
Mhm.
got this 4.99 beer right now. And so my wife's literally been like buys like 2 or 3 of them every time she goes to the store.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Awesome. Well, let's dive in. So I know that you can't share with us your quota attainment because of where you guys are at as a
Mhm.
company, but kind of tell us a little bit about some of the success you've had since you've been at Crowdstrike.
Yeah, sure. So I can talk a bit about my ranking. So last year, because I'm obviously in Australia where I compete mostly against the Australian Asia area.
Yeah.
So last year in APJ, so Australia, Asia Pacific, and Japan, I ranked number one for 2019.
Yes. Come on.
And at the moment for this month, this month, the quarter just started as well. I'm coming second at the moment. So
Dang.
I'm super competitive. So I've got a little bit to go, but second is a good place to be.
But number one, 2019. That's
Yeah.
huge. And you managed the SDR intern team too, right?
Yeah. So I look after, we've got 2 interns at the moment and a third one just about to start. So
Dang.
I look after the 3 of them, which is really cool. I love doing it. I guess helping train them up to be SDRs once they graduate uni or college. So they're all ready to go. So it's
Oh
awesome.
my gosh. Well, you have a ton on your plate. That's like you're basically managing the team lead, and or managing the interns, and you're a team lead, and you're destroying quota.
Yep. I like being busy though. It's the best way to.
Oh, you're so awesome. You're so positive. I love it. Um, Tell us a little bit about, like, what are some of the keys to your success?
Yeah. So I guess the way I like to do it is firstly, number one, I think if you're failing to plan, you're planning to fail. So every month. Everyone always laughs at me, but I always have this little piece of paper on my desk and I kind of sticky tape it down with all of the meetings I think are going to like be converted or qualified.
I love that.
So usually I go into the month ready to go, knowing what's already there.
I love that.
So I kind of work 1 month in advance to make sure I never miss my quota. I guess as well,
Love that.
being consistent. So every month I try to consistently do the same thing and be prepared for the next month, but also having a bit of a combination approach. So
Yeah.
I use a combo of LinkedIn, email, and calls. And I
I
think
love it.
that combination of using the three and
Yeah.
having a consistent message across the three
I love it.
is something that's really helped me as well. So I might choose a specific vertical to target and have a bit of pain that I associate with that vertical,
Yeah.
and then emphasize that pain across firstly a call, an email, and a LinkedIn. And obviously if I book a meeting on the first call, then I won't progress to email and LinkedIn, but having that combination approach I think is something that's really helped me.
That's awesome. Talk to me about your LinkedIn game. Like how do you use LinkedIn to, get in front of prospects?
Yeah, so I love using LinkedIn, sliding into the DMs.
Sliding into the DMs. What does that even mean?
It's the best way to do it. So I think the ideal way is number one, connecting with people on
Yeah.
LinkedIn. First of all, even if you're not going to message them, I think connecting with people in your industry is a good way to learn. A lot of people I'm calling are thought leaders in the cybersecurity industry, so I like to read articles they share as well. So
That's tight.
that helps. And then once you're connected as well, they can see what I'm posting and it's easier to message them and get in contact with them. And
Yeah.
number two, if they don't accept my connection, you can add them like on sales, you can message them on Sales Navigator, sorry, if
Yeah.
that's available to you. But I
Yeah.
prefer not to do it that way. I prefer being connected to a prospect.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sales Nav is really good as well.
Yeah.
But
Okay. So I totally agree with you. What do you think's the difference between like sending an in-mail versus like the first connection request, like as a prospect? Like what do you think is like the mental thing there?
yeah, I think an in-mail personally, it looks quite salesy and it will send them an email. So sometimes that's good if that's what you're wanting to do, but it's not as genuine, I think. And it's
Yeah.
easier to have just a brief conversation, the same as you would with a friend on like over text. You can do that on LinkedIn. I think it's a bit more appropriate.
That's tight. I like that. So you connect with the person and then you follow them and start either commenting or liking their posts. And then how much do you post and how much content do you put out on LinkedIn about cybersecurity?
To be honest, I don't want to be like spamming my feeds with too much cybersecurity
Yeah.
like articles and things. So I post a little bit about myself, what I'm doing at uni, and like, well, I'm not in uni anymore, but what I was doing in uni and my
Yeah.
extracurriculars, and mix that in with a bit of cybersecurity stuff. So it's a bit about, my life and what I do, and a bit
Yeah.
about what I do at work as well. So
That's
it's
cool.
interesting for everyone.
Did you ever have like executives like comment or like any of your posts?
Yeah, they they comment and like, or they'll more commonly DM me on LinkedIn, like people who I've cold.
Really?
Yep, DMing me, congratulating me on finishing uni,
Oh my gosh.
all kinds of things. Yeah, which is really good. So I think once you've connected, you really do establish like a connection with the prospect, which is cool.
That's tight. I love that. Talk to me about your email game.
Email. Okay, so email again, I try to keep it consistent with what I've said on the phone. If I've left them a voicemail, I'll kind of just go deeper into that in the email.
Yeah.
Um, I also like to use email sometimes before the call, usually, and then make that relevant and call based off the email. So I'll chop and change a little bit. So sometimes I'll email first and then call. Sometimes I'll call first and then email saying, just tried to call you, but couldn't get a hold of you. So I'm always like chopping and changing my strategy a little bit.
Yeah.
With email as well, I usually target my prospects by industry. Again, it's just a bit more of an efficient approach. So you can really understand the pain that prospects in a particular industry feel. And it helps me to learn more, and then I can deliver more value as well within an email.
And so your process is like LinkedIn, phone, email. What does like your sequence look like, or like your actual process?
Yep. So I guess my most generic one will be email first, call, LinkedIn. And then I'll go email, call, LinkedIn, email, call, LinkedIn.
Oh, really? And do you write your own sequences? Do you like write your own process, or is that like set out by like upper management?
That was my own.
Oh, dang. So what made you to kind of put that into place? Like, what was your thought process?
So I think for a long time, I was just finding that sometimes I would just try call someone, and they would never answer, and then I'd flick to email, and then
Yeah.
I'd email, they'd never answer. So I couldn't figure out the one approach that was the best. So I thought, why don't I try all of the approaches on an individual aspect? And
Oh,
then
that's awesome.
if I'm trying all three, like sometimes, that's the better way to do it. And even if I linked in someone and I've called them heaps of times, they'll sometimes randomly just reply to a LinkedIn. And if I didn't do that, I never would have like landed the meeting. So I
Yeah.
think trying all three for everyone is something that I thought was really important.
Dang, that's cool. And as you go through the sequence into your other emails, are they more automated, or are you also like sending those as like manual emails as well and like customizing them?
Yeah, my sequence, because I'm in enterprise, and there's less accounts and
Yeah.
they're big, I prefer to do it manually, but
Dang.
it'll give me the notifications of when to send the email, and then I'll type it up myself.
Yeah.
Sometimes if I really like want to push a lot of information out, I'll do it automatically, but I try to do pretty much everything manually.
Dang. How many accounts do you have?
Ooh, maybe 400.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not that many. When I was in SMB, I had 16,000, and I didn't.
16,000?
Yeah,
Holy cow.
yeah.
Dang. I thought 400 was like a I don't know. I thought 400 was a lot, but 16,000 is insane.
Obviously, yeah, I didn't cover anywhere near 16,000 accounts, but like I went from that to 400, so it was a lot less.
Dang. That's cool. Well, talk to me what are some of your other keys to success, you think?
Oh, so I think for me, cold calling a lot, it's a real mental game. So
Ooh.
I kind of use a strategy of tricking myself into thinking it's not a cold call,
Oh my
even
gosh. Okay.
even when it is. So
What does that mean?
I guess really making sure every time I make a call, I have a goal for that call, like a
Yeah.
reason why I'm calling and what I
Yeah.
want to get out of that phone call. And then I feel like that comes across in the way I speak and the tone of voice I'm using. And
Yeah.
that makes every call better quality. I just sound more confident. I sound like I know what I'm talking about and that I'm
Yeah.
calling with a purpose rather than just um, having a spray and pray approach. So
Yeah.
really doing that prep, doing that research, and making sure I'm adding value um, puts me in a better headspace than if I was in a headspace thinking that I'm just randomly calling someone up.
Oh my gosh.
That makes sense.
Tricking yourself that you're not making a cold call. I love that. What kind of like how much time or what kind of prep do you do before each call?
So it depends. If it's someone who my rep has come to me saying, Brie, I really want a meeting with this person, I
Yeah.
will write out a script of like and
No
put the
way.
three key points that I want to hit on this call.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
and I'll have that up on the screen. So I don't like reading off a script, but I just
Yeah.
find that writing it out before the call and having it on the screen will really help
Yeah.
and make sure I get that value across. Um, I'll do general research, like look at the person's LinkedIn,
Sure.
read their annual report,
Oh,
consider their
geez.
cybersecurity. Yeah. So because I've got less accounts,
Yeah.
um, I have more time to do really deep research.
Dang, that's tight. And so what is your when you get on the phone with someone, how do you like open up the call? Like what's your like go-to? Because you're so positive and energetic.
Yeah, so everyone says that to me. I always try to sound like a friend on the phone. And then I never get hung up on, which is good. I'm always smiling when I speak as well. So I
Yeah,
think that comes across on the phone. But I guess I'll say, hey, Bree from Crowdstrike, have I caught you at a good time? And
yeah,
then that's always what I say. I know people, it's a bit controversial whether to say that or
sure,
say, have I caught
sure.
you at a bad time? But I think that's what works for me and the way that I portray
Mm,
myself on the phone.
yeah,
Um, and
I
then
love that.
I'll kind of go from there and say, look, I've been speaking to other people within your industry. That's usually when I use. Otherwise, if they say, oh, it's not a good time, um, I'll be respectful of that and say, okay, cool, when's a better time? And then figure out a better time. And the trick is send them a calendar invite for 15 minutes. And that's what I do every time.
Wait, walk me through that. You're sending a calendar invite every time?
So if they say, oh, no, it's not a good time,
Yeah,
I'll be like, okay, cool. When is a better time for me to call you back?
yeah.
Um, and usually they'll give me a time, like, oh, call me this afternoon. And I'll say, cool, is it all good if I send you a 15-minute calendar placeholder just so I can remind myself to call you back then? And 90% of the time they say yes. So I'll grab the email and send them a 15-minute placeholder for the
Oh my
time. I
gosh.
ask them to call them back.
And then do you take that call on your own, or do you invite your account executive to that call?
I take that call on my own.
I love that concept.
Yeah. So it's only 15 minutes though.
Yeah, but I feel like the mindset for the prospect is like when it's on their calendar, they're not gonna like get out of it. Whereas like so many times someone said like, oh, call me back like tomorrow or something. I go, oh yeah, sure, I'll do that. And it's basically a cold call again.
Yeah.
It's never like an actual call. So I think that's super cool.
Yeah, and I think it's also in a way being respectful of the other person's time. So
Yeah.
they know when you're going to call, and then it's not a cold call. Then they know you're going to call. I'll put a mini agenda in there. They know what it's going to be about, and they can reschedule that meeting if they want to. So I think I try to be respectful of a prospect's time every time I call. So I think that helps as well.
Dang. How many, if you don't mind me asking, how many calls do you make like throughout the week?
Oh, it's different every week. I try to average about 30 a day.
30 a day.
Yeah.
Dang. So you're really like email, phone, LinkedIn. You're definitely not like super heavy on the LinkedIn or super heavy on the phone.
Yeah, I'm definitely a mix.
Dang, that's super cool. I love that approach to cold calling. I think that's super cool. Did you, when you first started cold calling, what was it like for you?
I was scared, really scared to be honest. So
Yeah.
I think everyone finds it hard. It's not an easy thing to do, but I guess to get over that, I would call a lot more than I was doing anything else. So
Hmm.
at the moment, I'm calling 30 prospects a day. I was probably calling 70 a day when I first started, but I was also looking after SMB, so it was a little bit
Dang.
different. Um, but yeah, I was honestly terrified, but I think it was just getting over that big speed bump at the start and pushing through that.
Dang. That's killer. That's killer. So we talked a little bit about some of the mentors that you have. I want you to tell us like give us the mentor lowdown.
Yeah, sure. So I've got 3 mentors at the moment. So they're all for different things, depending on what stage I'm at. I guess I went through a large transition period when I graduated from uni in November, so that was only a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
And it was really good to have all these people to talk to about my career and where I wanted to go. But my first mentor I got when I was an intern at Crowdstrike. So my director of corporate sales set me up with her, and she was a corporate account executive at Salesforce.
It's
Um,
Salesforce, so not even at CrowdStrike.
yeah, not at Crowdstrike, but it was my manager at Crowdstrike that made the introduction for me.
Interesting.
So yeah, I wanted a female, like someone in my same demographic, a few stages ahead of me, in
Yeah.
my career, and there wasn't anyone available internally at the time. So I was allowed to take an hour off work, like once a month, and go see her and just chat about my career and where I wanted to go. It was really good to have someone externally as well to talk about the bigger picture,
Yeah.
and where I could go, because inevitably you're not going to be at the same company forever. Um,
Yeah.
and as an intern, I was still learning about the world of technology as a whole. So that's how I met her and how I utilized that mentor mentee relationship.
Dang.
Um,
Is she still one of your mentors?
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So
That's
that's
cool.
been a year and a half now, which is pretty long. I've only been at Crowdstrike for 2 years, so it's been a while.
Dang.
And then I've got a second one. So he is, um, he's like in management at IBM. So I met him. He's just a really old family friend, and I wanted someone. Like, my goal for my career is to go into management eventually. So
Yeah.
he is way more senior than me in terms of a career. I've been in the technology world for a really long time,
Yep.
and he's also got a tech background instead of a business background, which is also what I was looking for. Someone that could teach me about the world of technology, and the technical side of things,
Yeah.
rather than the sales side of things as well. So that's why I've got him. And he, again, helps me navigate the whole technology industry. And
Dang.
then my third mentor is an internal corporate account executive. So she's probably my newest mentor, but we catch up once a month, and chat about everything that's going on, my role, how I'm doing for quota, and everything that's happening within the company. So it was
Yeah.
really good to have someone internal as well, so they understand the products. They can help me with those kinds of things, like in navigating the company internally. And as
Interesting.
Yeah, so I think that was really important for me. It kind of covered everything, having those three mentors, if that
Oh
makes
my
sense.
gosh. Like, how often do you talk to each mentor?
So internally every month. So
Okay.
my mentor, and the other two I will usually just. It's not that often. It's when I kind of need some advice, or I've hit a bit of a roadblock, or I'm a bit stuck.
Yeah.
I'll call them up and we'll catch up for a coffee or a drink after work or something, and kind of talk everything through.
Dang. And what effect do you think it's had on like your career so far?
So I think it's been really helpful. Like, I couldn't recommend seeking out a mentor anymore. Like, it's really opened my mind to, like, I guess, all of the opportunities in sales and the tech
Mm,
world.
yeah.
Because I started my career at Crowdstrike. I've never worked anywhere else. And I think it just really made me realize how lucky I am to be in the position I am in now, and
Dang.
keep I guess it keeps me level headed as well. Sometimes I come to my mentor, I'm like, oh, I messed this up. Oh no, like I made a big mistake. And I'm like, okay, this is like you've done the tiniest thing wrong. Just think about the bigger picture, and they'll get me
Mm,
back on that path to success, which I think is really important.
that's cool. That's cool. Well, speaking of like future, like where do you want to be? Like what's kind of your goal?
Yeah, so my goal next is I want to be an SDR manager. That is my
Oh,
career goal.
dang.
Because I manage the three interns at the moment. I think that was something I really enjoyed. I found really rewarding. So I kind of wanted to progress that forward. So that's my goal
Yeah.
for now. I want to train.
Why not account executive and why SDR manager, you think?
That's a hard question. I get asked that all the time. I think it just, I guess I wanted a role that I would really, really enjoy. Um, and I could see that from looking after the interns, I love doing that. I love seeing them succeed. I love training them, and I want to help other people have the same experience I've had at Crowdstrike,
Yeah.
um, and mimic that. So I think that, I guess, is the most appealing thing for me.
Dang.
And I'm not saying that I'll never be a corporate account executive. I think I would
Yeah.
definitely end up in a role like that eventually. But I also think being an SDR manager is a rare opportunity. So if it does come up, it's definitely one I want to go for.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I feel like SDR manager is such a hard job.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. As far as like your success, is there anything else that like you want people to know that has kind of got you to where you're at?
Oh, I guess the number one thing that has helped me, I'm not sure, like not everyone can do this, but starting as an intern when I was in uni, so I was an SDR
Yeah.
intern, was probably the thing that's given me the biggest advantage
Yeah.
moving into the role. So I pretty much had a year to like practice cold calling. I had no quota.
Dang.
I would help out the SDRs where they needed and sometimes call as well. So I went into the role already knowing what to do pretty much and knowing what my goals were. And
Yeah.
I've seen heaps of successful SDRs get promoted to corporate account executives. So I was thinking, okay, they did this, this, and this. That's what I need to do as well. So I knew that all from day one pretty much. And I guess
Yeah.
still took a lot of practice, but I think that's what gave me an advantage, I guess.
Dang, that's super cool. Well, I think that's super beneficial for like other companies to hear. Like I think there's been a couple people on the podcast that the guy I had, Brennan from Outreach, he started as an intern, and also went to college and had like part of his degree was in sales. And so like hearing that from you, I think is super awesome. Um I wanted to ask you like what's it like being a woman in sales at Crowdstrike and just like a woman in sales in general?
Yeah, oh, interesting question. So I think in the tech world in general, from my experience, it's definitely, I guess, being in sales is a male dominated role in technology.
Yeah.
I don't think that it means like any female is disadvantaged in any way. I've never felt that way at all. I think it's more of
Yeah.
an opportunity to
Mm,
use that. So I guess when you're cold calling, it is much less likely for a female to be on the other side of the phone. Like, so for me,
yeah.
people rarely get cold called by a female. So everyone always says, Brie, like use that to your advantage.
Yeah.
It's something you've got that not everyone else has. So I'm the only female on my team at the moment. So I think using that to your advantage, I guess, and as a point of differentiation is good.
Yeah.
Um, but apart from that, I've got so many awesome like female mentors within
Mm,
Crowdstrike that have really helped me. So not even the ones that I mentioned previously, like everyone in the company, we've got a really tight network
that's
of
cool.
successful women that are always, their doors are always open. I can always go and ask them for help. And also the males in the office too are always super supportive
Dang.
um, and willing to help out too, which has been great.
Dang. That's awesome. Do you have any advice that you would give like women getting into sales or
Yeah,
getting into the role?
Yeah, I would just say be confident in yourself and your abilities, I think is the number one thing that I've seen. They just sometimes tend to like back off a little bit, but I think just
Yeah.
be confident in yourself, be confident in your abilities, and be confident on the phone, and you definitely can succeed that way.
Dang. I love it. I love it. And what advice would you give like anybody that's coming into the role? Like regardless of who you are, woman, man, American, international.
I think definitely asking for help. So asking people to listen to you, and always be looking for new opportunities to learn new things. So take advantage of all the training sessions you can go to. Take advantage of mentors or people that want to help you out. I think that there's so many opportunities, and the people who I've seen succeed are the ones that have taken those opportunities.
That's cool.
Work hard, definitely. Um, the hardworking SDRs are the ones that are making the most calls, the ones spending the most time on their planning is the ones that I've seen um, be successful. And just, I guess, have confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
Everyone makes mistakes on the phone. We've all been there. We've all been hung up on. We've all like
Yeah.
bumped out, said the wrong thing. I think the ability to just be persistent and pick yourself up after making that mistake is really critical to being a successful SDR.
Dang, that's cool. Oh man, I was gonna ask you something. What was I gonna ask you? How did you become so like optimistic and like excited about life? Like, where does that come from?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. um, I think I don't know. I'm super competitive, and I always want to win. But I also I love working on a team. I'm not
Yeah,
like working at home at the moment, to be honest. I miss my team. I miss my friends.
yeah,
Um, but I think just having a good attitude and really enjoying what you're doing is something that's going to make you successful. I don't think I could ever do a role that I didn't enjoy.
mm,
And I love being an SDR and I'm competitive and I want to be successful. So I think having that good attitude is the key to success. So I just try to keep myself on that positive mindset, I
dang,
guess.
I love that. How like is it ever hard to be competitive but also be like a really good team player? I feel like some people deal with that like definitely in the role. Like the competition almost like gets so like ramped up that you forget about like, you know, that you have a team and that you need to support each other.
Yeah, I found that definitely moving into the team lead role. Like I want to be supportive and I love work. I love my team. I love work in a team, but I'm also super competitive and I always want to win.
Yeah.
Um, we always kind of joke around and I'd be like, oh, like we'll always joke about who's booked the most meetings, who's booked the
Yeah.
best meetings. So it's quite light-hearted competition, not like, oh, I'm better than you or anything like that. Um, I guess it's always important to be happy for your peers as well and be able to learn from their success
Mm, yeah,
and give
that's tight.
people the opportunity to learn from your own success as well. So we help each other out. And I genuinely do want to see my team and my peers be successful as well. So I guess taking that attitude on board too.
Oh my gosh. You're awesome.
We also have team incentives, which helps as well.
Okay, cool. You're going to be such a good SDR manager. Does it
Thanks.
do you have like a time frame of when you want to when like that might be an option for you?
Well, I'm hoping, I guess my personal goal is at the end of this year, end of calendar year, so like December, January, is I guess my goal for myself. Yeah.
So that would mean you would be at Crowdstrike for almost 3 years then, right?
Yeah. So this is my first
Dang.
year at Crowdstrike full time.
Yeah.
In the past I was only part time. So yeah, that next year will be my third year at Crowdstrike.
Dang. And you're not getting burnt out.
No, I love it. I guess my role has changed a few times as well. So, changing from intern to part-time
Mhm.
SMB SDR to enterprise SDR and team lead. Um, there's new challenges that come with every new role. So I think that's helped me stay motivated as well.
Oh, a role change can be like all it takes to get you like to just help give you like another 6 to 8 months of I don't know, just feeling content as an SDR, I feel like.
Yeah,
I don't know.
100%. Like moving into enterprise, there's so many new challenges and so many bits and pieces I had to learn. So it gave me so much more motivation to go back out there and, work really hard and being successful in a new role.
Dang, that's tight. Man, you are such an inspiration to me. I just love your personality and I love how optimistic you are.
Thank you.
Um, how can people find you, get a hold of you?
Yeah, so probably LinkedIn is maybe the best way to do it. So it's Brianna Leopold. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Slide into my LinkedIn DMs anytime. I'm happy to help out.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks for being on the show. We're going to sign off, but you're awesome. You're super optimistic. Go follow Bree and learn from everything she's got. So thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Mark.